Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we're talking about some big news coming out of the LCS world, and this is actually like a month or two old. I've had this story like on my list of stories that I wanted to cover for so long, and for whatever reason I just kept kind of forgetting about it when it actually came time to record videos and talk about it and all this stuff. But today we're talking about Mr. Beast and his potential kind of coming into the LCS or potential acquisition of an LCS team or slot or whatever. And this is a story that I have been covering for, it feels like, I don't know, multiple years now, at least a year, but I think it's like closer to 2 years now. Mr. Beast has constantly been talking about how he wants to own a League of Legends team, how he loves League of Legends, he loves League of Legends esports, he's going to make, this thing happen. And obviously he's a guy with the money and power and influence and all this thing to do so. He has, the potential investors and backing and all this stuff. I mean, it's really, really crazy that recently Mr. Beast said that he had an offer from somebody to buy like everything that he does, which is not only YouTube, it's like 15 YouTube channels that do, billions of views, but it's also Mr. Beast Burger, it's also Feastables, he has so much different stuff going on, but somebody had offered him $1 billion for everything that he does, and he had turned it down, and now, he and reports are saying that everything he does could easily be valued at over $1 billion. So like, he has the money, he has the resources. If he wants to get this thing done, he absolutely could. And there were some rumors of him potentially getting into the LCS this year. He said previously he wants to get an LCS team within the next like 1, 2, 3 years, whatever. There's definitely chances this offseason. We saw FlyQuest get sold to a new owner. And we also saw some other teams that were potentially going to be leaving the LCS. We saw some LEC teams, with slots opening up, all that stuff. But this was Mr. Beast at the World Finals, and here's what he had to say when he was actually asked about this whole situation, which I really appreciate them, asking these questions. So let's see what Mr. Beast had to say. Let's see what we can learn from it.
You got something?
I've got to put the screws to you. I got a hard-hitting question here.
Here we
So
go.
there's been some rumors. Are you going to buy an LCS team?
Oh, gosh. Boom. Well, yeah, 100%. Now,
let's go!
The question is more when.
Okay.
Because if we do it, I want to have a team that makes it to a stage like this.
Oh, I like that! Yes.
We got to get the right pieces in place before we
Okay.
pull the
Great
trigger.
You're giving me all the right answers here.
I like
I'm
it.
signed up.
So at least it might be another year or two, but yeah, 100%.
So very, very interesting. And again, crazy that Azale actually asked the question, actually puts him on the spot, because some people would say, oh, maybe you shouldn't ask that, or, whatever. Some people would maybe say it's crossing the line, or maybe Mr. Beast wouldn't respond positively to that or whatever. But Azale asked the question and Mr. Beast knocks it out of the park. He says 100%. He says it's probably still going to be another year or two, but he also says he wants a team that's going to play on a stage like that, and they're at the World Final. He's talking about a team that's going to be, internationally competitive, and I'm sure also, a big brand, big content, big money. It's not like he's just going to be doing it for fun. He is a businessman at the end of the day. He wants to do things right. He wants to do things big. But he's also talking about getting all the right pieces in place, which could be, management, coaching, infrastructure, players, all of that stuff. So it does seem like if and when, as Mr. B said, he comes into the LCS, it's going to be with a big splash. It's going to be with money and funding and players and talent and infrastructure and all of that. So this just made the whole thing even more exciting. Now, yes, it does suck that we might still have to wait another year or two, because there was some talks and some rumors this offseason. I had heard multiple people say that Mr. Beast was beginning to inquire about some of these things, that maybe he had even talked to FlyQuest. I don't know, how seriously or how advanced those talks were or anything like that about potentially buying that LCS slot or whatever. But it does seem like the things are getting in motion. Again, he says he needs to have the right pieces, which means, hey, they must be beginning to take a look at some of those pieces, or even, trying to find out what pieces it takes. He's at the World Final. He is learning. He's researching. He's doing all these things. But he also says 100% he will buy an LCS team, maybe even within the next year or two. So we're on Mr. Beast watch. I think the LCS would be very, very lucky to have him. It could even revitalize the league and the esport in a huge way. Especially if, he's able to do the things he does, which, hey, he's been a wildly successful businessman, in like 5 to 10 different ways in multiple different ventures and assets and all that stuff. But just a really, really big update that, happened during Worlds with all the craziness going on that I definitely wanted to talk about and make sure you guys were aware of. And that's the latest update to that whole situation. So we'll have to wait and see what happens next. But pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. But until then, peace.